Alright, you are live.
All right. Good evening, Facebook, outsiders, anybody tuning in for this evening. As you can see, we're doing a little bit of a different setup. Tonight, we are trying a new format and a new time. So tonight, we're doing a discussion with our friend here. This is Miranda. She'll be joining us for a discussion about Neopets. And then as for the nature of the way that we have this all set up, Leo is on the keyboard today, so he's off screen, but he's on mic.
Hello, everybody. I'm Computer Boy today.
So things should go. You can see we're adding complexity every time we do these, so you're welcome for that. And also, we're sorry if we fuck any of this up this evening. Also, uniquely, this is the first time that we're filming in front of a live studio audience. I hope that the mics picked all that up, because there is genuinely a live studio. I feel like it adds to the authenticity of the experience. So without any further ado, I just want to launch into it. I guess we'll start with Miranda. You just want to give us a brief introduction. It's like who's Miranda?
I'm Miranda. I am a Hunter College student. I'm getting my master's in animal behavior and conservation, and I have been playing Neopets since 2002.
Right on. Okay. Good. All right. So that's great. So just starting off from that. So Neopets is preamble. I have no understanding of Neopets. I've never played Neopets. I don't know anything about Neopets. I'm vaguely familiar with the concept of a Neopet, but I've always just kind of thought of them as just like Tamagotchis mixed with Digimon, with the basic version of the internet.
Yeah, it's actually not really like that. Like, the Neopets themselves are actually very static. Like, they're just pictures. But a virtual pet site in general, at its core, is like a forum list, and then you'll have your pet and your interface where you interact with it and read it books or whatever, train it for the click turn-based battle system, and then you'll have mini games.
Okay, wait.
That's the distilled virtual pet site formula.
Right. Would you say was Neopets the first virtual pet site?
Oh yeah, Neopets is the first virtual pet site. Neopets changed the game for I would say a lot of just internet enjoyment for children.
Really?
Neopets was the start. Neopets is why we have things like Webkins and maybe not Club Penguin, but the entire virtual pet
What's a
subculture.
Yeah, what's a Webkin?
Webkin, yeah.
Webkins is serious children's stuff. But it's
where Neopets is.
Well, Neopets has a genuine adult audience now, but Webkins is because on Neopets you can talk very freely with people. You have the forums where you can talk one-on-one with people,
right? And
say pretty much whatever you want. The filters are crazy,
but they're moderated, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, they're still moderated, but silly things can still happen. But Webkins, I think you can only pick from a certain set list of phrases what you say to other people.
Really?
Yeah, Webkins is for 5-year-olds.
So that's the early versions of the Wii speak, right? You were or Nintendo DS. I feel the first time when you can do the chats, you can only send pre-selected phrases, from what I remember.
Oh yeah,
I think
I've actually never seen that.
I might be just making shit up, but I from what I remember about the early DS, the first ones when you could write messages to players nearby, it was you could only say very few things hi,
oh, wow.
How are you, thanks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's basically Webkins.
Okay, see that's the other thing, right? So Neopets, when you say Club Penguin, maybe tangentially was stemmed off from that. I'm probably more familiar with something like Club Penguin. My little sister played a lot of Club Penguin.
Yeah. And
from what I understand, there was Habbo Hotel was this other kind of weird MMO social space when I was younger, and that was probably more my scene.
Habbo, I never really played Habbo Hotel. I think I had an account and I played it briefly, but those kind of more traditional MMO interactions where you have your one screen and all the individual players around there, that was not so much what I was there for. I mean, I played RuneScape with my cousins, but
right.
That was not my niche was virtual pet sites.
Okay, so with your Neopets experience, what was that like in 2002? Was it walk me through walk was your first year on Neopets as a newbie?
Well, my first year on Neopets, my username was Miranda319, and I'm saying that because it no longer exists.
Okay.
And I had a green Kachik. His name was Minty_green_Minty.
Okay.
And I love that Kachik. And
that's a type of Neopet, I take it?
Yeah, Kachiks they're kind of like fox squirrels. Can we pull up pictures?
How do you spell that?
Kacheek.
Wow, really, really on the nose there, Kachik.
Yeah, Kachik. There we go.
Oh, this is like the Neopet.
There we go.
This is like the mascot Neopet, right?
Yeah, Kachiks are definitely like a fan favorite.
Yeah,
They're,
because I feel like
best.
of all the Neopets I've seen this one.
The official like Neopets mascot is technically supposed to be like the Chia, Chia, Neopets.
Why does this one have its skeleton showing?
That one is transparent colored. It's a newer color as far as like there's like classic Neopets colors, but like the really old ones from like if you played as a child, those ones you know. Transparent is a newer color, and it's kind of on the grungier side, honestly, for Neopets. It's like
that seems
like
a little bit
if you're
metal.
a boy playing Neopets, you have a transparent pet.
I see. So this is more like this is the rugged kind of Neopet.
Yeah.
This Neopet breaks the rules. Okay.
It's like, ooh, we're getting spooky Neopet hours.
Right. Maybe you can bring up a Chia sometime later. We'll figure that one out. But so you had this. Did you develop like personal connections with your pets?
Oh,
is that the objective?
My little pictures I hold very dear to my heart.
Really? Do you still have any?
I love my little pictures. They're so cute.
So that was it. Like, are there always pictures? Did they ever add like animation or some kind of like interactive?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because in 2000, hold on, I have the date written down.
Fantastic.
In April 26, 2007, they introduced a they changed the entire like layout of the site overnight, and they also introduced customization.
Wow.
And what they did for this was like, they were like, we can get some real money here, because people have been asking like, let's put our Neopets in clothes, it'll be cute. So they redrew every single Neopet so that like previously like certain colors for Neopets, like Fairy, where they had like wings, and Daragon, where they were kind of like spooky, like usually purple and had like horns and stuff. Gray, they were like gray colored and like all like depressed and like droopy.
Oh my god.
Like these certain colors changed the pose of your pet so that like they looked like different and like super cute. It was like really like nice expressive artwork. But when customization came out in 2007, they redrew every single pet to have the exact same pose. For most of the pets, this involved having one arm up and like a clenched fist, so they could hold things in it. But if you weren't holding anything, it looked like you were like ready to throw hands. Like your Neopet was like ready to like fight someone. So when they did this, they left. Oh, I wrote down how many they left too. I was like, I'm bringing in the numbers here.
So wait, couldn't your Neopets fight people? Didn't you say earlier like you could do like Neopet battles?
Oh yeah. There is like a battle dome where you can either fight like computer like bosses,
right,
or you can do like PvP with other people, and that is again an entire other niche of Neopets. It's just the people who do PvP in the battle dome. That is a whole ass niche.
I cannot even like begin to imagine what like a Neopet battle dome looks like. What is that like?
It requires math.
What?
It is because so that also actually got a very recent revamp, and it's now a bit more like animated, but it's essentially a glorified Pokemon like battle system, honestly. Like you pick like 2 or 3 weapons, and then it's like basically turn-based, in that each turn like you go and your opponent goes essentially at the same time, and then you like see like do like the damage calculations, and then you see like, you know, who's like still alive. Right. But how the damage is calculated is based on their icons for like different elements, and then like physical icons, and like your Neopet's like attack and defense, and then what weapon you're using determines the icons, but only at like increments. Like every certain increment of like your Neopet's attack will do 1 extra icon of damage up until 16.
Okay.
So beyond like attack levels of 750 are actually like totally worthless, because like you won't actually see the benefits of that. Right. But that's like numbers.
That's insane. I can't believe that it requires numbers though. Like this is to me like when 2000. You're right. That's like none of my favorite games required math, and I think that probably speaks a lot to my character. But like for instance, like 2002, I was 10. I was either 9 or turning or 10. Like I was 10 or turning 11. And so I cannot like fathom trying to do casual math in order to enjoy a video game.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that it was like turn-based, so you could like sit like you pretty much like knew ahead of time like what setup you're like what what you were gonna do which turn. Like, oh, this is the turn where I use my freezing attack. This is the turn
Right.
where I use my lens flare, and like then the opponent can't do anything for
Right.
that turn. Like, it's very formulaic,
I like that.
like a Pokemon battle. Honestly,
Right.
it's pretty similar.
Like I get that. Well, I imagine like any like pet battling simulator is inevitably going to get compared to Pokemon, right?
Yeah, for sure. It has to be turn based.
so-
Like, there's no other way to get around it.
Are we
these-
looking at
yeah,
images of Neopet battles?
Yeah, is this, Miranda, can you identify any
None of this looks like.
Yeah, this, I typed in Neopets PvP and
Oh no, go back up and type in Battle Dome. Neopets Battle Dome.
Yeah, they probably don't refer to it as PvP when they're like 11.
here we go. Here, oh, this.
That's it. That's it.
I have no idea what that means.
That's
Yeah,
PvP.
here we go. Just so, can you explain what's happening here? Miranda, can you explain? Oh no, that's not at all what I wanted to do.
Oh. Okay, so let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so
What is this?
this is the interface of the Battle Dome where you pick like what weapons your Neopet is going to use. You can have a total of 9 equipped weapons on your pet, but each turn you use only 2 of them. Some of them are 1 turn per. Some of them you can only use once per battle.
This
Some of them
looks-
you can only use once at all.
fucking vastly complicated. This is not like Pokemon at all. Pokemon had 4 attacks, and especially Pokemon at this time had 4 attacks and what 6 stats, right? Were special attack and special defense there yet?
Not at the first one. After second gen.
2002 was that
Yes.
Gold and Silver yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was it? I don't know. I feel like I'm
2002
45 years old most of the time.
2002 was 2 years before
2004.
Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, okay, yeah, it would be Gold and Silver then, yeah.
So yeah, we had Gold and Silver by then.
Right, so I don't think Special Attack and Special Defense were in it yet, were they? Oh, no, they were.
No,
they
special
were. They
special
were.
attack and special defense
They came in the second
were
gen, I
in
think.
second gen. Yeah, that was second gen.
Oh, man, this is just shows you how old you get so quickly when you're a millennial. But yeah, so that looks infinitely complicated. It almost strikes me as kind of like a rock, paper, scissors and like a Pokemon type game, because like with the assembly of like how you hold the weapons and like the usage of the weapons and
Yeah.
certain weapons counteracting certain other types and things like that.
I would say it's a little bit more closer to, you know, like Big Bang Theory, like rock paper scissors lizard Spock.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, just like it's a bit more faceted. There are only like 3 options, but like
Right.
yeah,
But it's still basically like this beats that, beats that, beats that, beats that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So how does it look? Is this how does the battle screen play out? Does it like actually look interesting?
that's pretty much it. Click up the picture right next to it. Let's see what that looks like. Yes, that is exactly what it looks like.
This.
And then each turn you will have a brief animation of your pet like running
doing the move.
forward.
There's
and,
a
like, will,
YouTube
attack.
video.
There's a YouTube video.
That's what that is. Yeah, the link clicks through to a YouTube.
That's great. That's peak.
I don't know if we can cross promote someone else's video content in our video.
Oh, this is really new too, because that is a Candy Zafar on the left and a toy Uni on the right, and both of those pets color like species combinations have come out within the past year.
Really?
So this is a
Wait,
very
so
new
it's
picture.
still like a very active environment. 'Cause we were going to build to that, but from my imagination was that Neopets kind of lived and died to 2014.
Neopets, there is still an active community, but it is like it's significantly smaller than it used to be even 2 years ago.
Right? Is
Like,
it?
it's gotten small.
It's probably not bringing in new people, right?
No, most of Neopets is just like long-term players
Right.
who are like who got really into it, especially like during the conversion era when like we got unconverted pets, which is the whole black market thing. That is another, again, that's a rabbit hole and a half.
Then we're gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I
We're
want to
gonna go
save
down that
that for a
rabbit
little bit later in the hour. So
That's
just
a good rabbit hole.
So just so just in thinking about like just kind of the history of it now, in my like limited research, looking up what Neopets is and why Neopets, basic rudimentary history is like Neopets was concocted by these 2 British students who like wanted a way to entertain their fellow students in university,
Yeah.
and also like kind of just make a bit of money off of banner advertisements.
Yeah, it was originally like just like a college, like I didn't play it for like those first 2 years, but I mean there's like Neopets lore, and then there's like when it first came out Neopets lore, and,
Right.
like,
This is like the
very-
Dark Souls like Old Kingdom shit. Like
Yeah, this is like OG stuff. Like the original Bruce, which is like a cute little penguin with like a bow tie on. The original Bruce was just a picture of like a bust of some talk show host who was big at the time, and then like each color, like red, blue, green, yellow, was just like a color filter over that picture.
Oh
and
my
that was
God.
it. That was your Neopet. Was just a picture of that guy.
That's wild.
And like other pets were like cartoon like drawings of like actual like pop culture people of the time.
Right.
And when it really got big and they were like, damn, we have an actual like child demographic here, like they have to change it.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
There it is. That's the OG on the far left. That's the original Bruce, and it was just a picture of that guy.
That's why I wish I knew who that was. I'm sure his name is Bruce.
Yeah.
I think it's Bruce Forsyth. Yeah.
Bruce Forsyth. Yes, that is it.
Okay.
And then
That's
there's
what it
also a Macy Gray one, I believe.
Yes, Macy Gray.
Oh
that
my God.
Yes, this became the cow, KAU, but it looks like a regular.
That sounds kind of bad too. Like this is
Yeah.
a great rendition of Macy Gray. This seems like someone's bad paint art of Macy Gray.
Yeah,
if they had
it's
only ever
truly-
seen an image of her once.
It's truly hideous.
And you would call that your Neopet? This would be like Macy Gray is my Neopet.
Well, I mean, the 5-year-olds who played didn't have that. This was like when it was still like college dumbass kids.
Boy, but I'm saying like a college student made that. Like a college student.
A college student did that.
That is 1999 was a different time.
Yeah.
We were all blameless because we were children. But okay, so from my research again, it went from being this college student like kind of like small passion project. It's like I was just like slight cash grab, and then it just fucking exploded. Like,
oh yeah,
they started getting new users by like the hundreds of thousands, and like they pretty soon reached like a 500,000.
Oh yeah, at its peak you would have thousands of people on at a time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even before the peak, even like, these first 2 formulative years, they exploded way too fast. And so in order to divest it and to like bring it to a larger audience, they sought investments. And the guy that they found who like brought it to America was this dude. What was it? Doug Doring.
Oh, I actually am not familiar with like the the administration part of how Neopets came to be. I mean, I know Adam and Donna, but I didn't know about Doug.
I don't know much about it, but so this is like a weird part of it that we found in the research is that this guy Doug Doring was like the CEO of Neopets Inc. or whatever the Neopet trading head company was, and he brought it to America. But he and his wife are Scientologists.
Yes.
And so a big part of like they had like a big falling out, I guess, with the original creators early on in the series, where they were like kind of trying to put some Scientology into the game.
Yes, that I am aware of.
Is that something you encountered?
No, Scientology never actually made it to Neopets, but I am aware of like the drama because there have since been like interviews with Donna, one of the original creators, and like I do think that like whoever interviewed her like touched on that, like, so like what's good with these like Scientologists? What happened there, man?
Yeah. Because that's what it is. It seems like the Scientologist was... I don't think that they knew he was a Scientologist at first, but it was just like... He was like a money guy. He's like, I'll like start a company and we'll bring it over to America where like there's money to be made and servers to host it. And that's, I think, also when they transferred it. Like, it's no longer Macy Gray. Now it's going to be like standardized images of these like cutesy...
Yeah, that's probably when they cleaned it up for a true like child demographic.
Right. And marketing, too. Because like you cannot market like this is a bad drawing of Macy Gray.
No, it's like almost offensive.
Yes. So that must have been. So I guess like 2002, you probably picked up like kind of right with the initial American explosion, or at least shortly thereafter.
Probably, yeah. I would say probably. I think I was probably a little bit too young to really like catch it right as it exploded and like be like on step with it the whole time because like I mean I was like 7 or 8.
Right.
But I picked it up very early in like its explosion.
Right. So like you were like you're a veteran in the game now, in the Neopet game.
Thank you. I like to think I am. I put in 17 years here.
Well, so that's the other thing. So you said that your first account that you name drop was Miranda319 or what have you.
Yeah.
So that means you have a different account now than you did then. I'm not asking you to name it or anything. I want to out you. But so how many accounts would you say you've gone through? Is it just the 2 or are there more there?
I would say there's definitely that one, and then I would say I've opened and then since closed 2 or 3 sides. But other than that, I have like 5 accounts because you can have 5 accounts. So like whatever, like more pets. They're cute. It's fun.
But do you share them across all the accounts or no? Like each account has its own pets, right?
Yeah, each account has. It used to be 4 for the longest time, but like recently, within the past like year or so, you can now have a 5th pet, and like whoo, people love that.
Really?
People love their 5th pet slot.
That's insane. So like that's over the past year, you said?
Yeah, I would say it's. Well, I guess at this point probably like 2 years, but it's a more recent change.
So when thinking about like the longevity of it, have you been playing it since 2002, like pretty steadily, or have you like come and gone?
Oh, I've definitely like come and gone. I mean, there is a long period of time. There was like one time when it was like really scary to play Neopets because like I mean not like but in that it was very easy for you to lose your account just by like playing like a normal person, because like people got the hackers again after customization and conversion happened.
So like 2007 around then?
Yeah, 2007. I would say like 2009 is when it really got like dicey. There were these people who had put like cookie grabbing scripts onto their like user lookups and like their shop like they're like nodding, they're like, oh, I remember this.
Sorry, we have a studio audience member who is emphatically nodding along to everything that is happening.
He's like, I've
or
seen
sorry,
these.
is it two of them? I can't see one of them past our wall
I have
here.
much experience with this. Me and my sister both.
Can we pick that up? I'm not sure. This is just a brief audience participation moment.
Please continue, Miranda. Talk about the scripting.
Oh yes. So they had cookie grabbing scripts on like pages where you would go, and what they did was, through this script, they were able to jump onto the cookie that had your
Like brought you there?
that had your active login session string. And so they could hop onto your active login session and play on your account. And the string that like determined like your active login session is supposed to be randomly generated, but Neopets is lazy, and it was actually an encryption of your password and using hashes, which are like kind of like ciphers from what I understand, but I'm not a coding wizard. They could find your password too if you had like an especially easy password.
Jesus.
So that was like, I mean, you went to buy a code stone, which you use for like training your pets. You went to like buy an item, and like somebody could be like have gotten onto your Neopets account just by like doing that, and it was terrifying.
That is terrifying. That's like, especially the predominant audience of the game being like people who are in their teens, like early
children
teens,
and teenagers.
That is like the worst. That's what parents fear today with how kids are constantly online. You know.
I will say though that these scripts that like were able to like make that happen, like Neopets was actually really good about like putting in the proper like corrections to like prevent that from happening.
Right.
But the thing is, it was also tricky because how the browser interacted with the code was apparently client side, which means that each browser like what is it called? Each browser version like interpreted a little bit differently, so it was a lot of like, okay, we got to make sure every single like browser and browser version.
It's like not if you're just like Internet Explorer and like 7, like Internet Explorer 7.1 through like 8, and then Firefox and whatever the equivalents were then.
Yeah, from what I understand, like that was like the trickiest part of like really getting the ring on it. But again, I'm not a coder. I really like those were the years when I was like, I'm just not gonna play Neopets.
See, you made a fair assessment. Like I'm sure there was a lot of kids. I'm like, if I were playing the game, I probably would be like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But so then it's funny that you say that the Neopets got the coders or the programmers that were lazy, because again in the research that we did, so I guess there was like a big hack of Neopets in about 2012 or 2013, or I think it was 2012. So there was a giant hack. I'm not sure exactly how they perpetrated it, but effectively the reason they were able to get so many player login information, so much player login information, is that the coders and programmers at Neopets kept them all as plain text files. Like they did not encrypt the player's information.
Yes, thank you. I'm pretty sure that my account that I lost in like, I would say around like 2015, like I had an account that had these unconverted pets. Again, we'll get to it.
Right.
And like I just suddenly like couldn't log into it, and that must have been why. It must have been one of the accounts that like
it said that
the information was on that hack. Yeah.
Probably almost guaranteed, because
that had to have been it.
From our reading, it said that
I've been wondering that
pretty much every account up until 2012 or 2013, every single account before that date was compromised in that hack.
Yeah.
Because they had, for a decade or more, kept all player data as plain text files instead of ever encrypting any of it.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine being a hacker and just jumping in, just jumping in to a user base, to like a database, and all of it is just like, yep, here's all the secret information right here.
Just like
no extra steps
just
required.
Like on a silver platter, like go for it. And that data file is still in circulation.
Really?
Like it's a little bit
I guess it would be.
Yeah, it's still in circulation. There's become a culture among like the hacker community of Neopets that like you don't touch active accounts anymore, but people do like scroll through it and like look for inactive accounts and like see what's on there.
See, that's why. So I feel like now we can start getting into like the hacking part of it, because I feel like we've covered kind of like the breadth of the Neopet breakdown. Yeah. So like that was like the most endlessly fascinating part of this whole thing to me, is that not only was Neopets like a much culturally larger phenomenon than I ever experienced or anticipated. But it also was such a large cultural force that it kind of begat its own subculture and dark culture. Like, it is such a dominant force of the internet's early days, especially for our generation.
Oh yeah.
That it has begotten its own like demonic underground.
Neopets has a black market. It is ridiculous.
Expound on that.
I would be happy to. Is it okay if I take off my coat?
Absolutely. It's hot as fuck in here.
Warm in here.
I am sweating. Every time we cut to your face, I wipe my brow.
I'm just gonna put this
Dungeons and Dragons shirts. Fucks with that.
Dungeons and Dragons right. I figured let's just go full nerd today.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Neopets. Let's embrace it.
There we go.
So in 2007, when they pushed the conversion of the pets so they could do customization. I check my notes. Hold on.
That's fine. It's good. You came prepared. You came more prepared than either me or Leo did. You see how Leo's not participating at all? Sorry, I can't shame him too hard because he is actively trying to switch between two perspectives all the time and make sure that nothing else falls apart. But yeah, props to Leo. You could just shout out. You do have a microphone. It just sucks that your microphone's on the other side of everything else you have to do.
Yeah, we're a learning process.
Oh, it's great. No, this is why it's a team effort, right?
That's right. It takes a village. So 227 different color species combinations. If you had a pet that was one of those color species combinations, you were at the time of the conversion, you were able to decide whether or not you wanted to use the new artwork. But it was like once you switched, like that was it. Like your pet was converted. Like that's it. There's no going back.
Right.
So any pet that existed pre that date and was one of those colors, is usually considered unconverted. And
so it's like a Schrodinger's pet. Like it exists in both states at once.
No, because you can't put clothes on it.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can't put clothes. It exists like instead of like actually interacting with like the different like layers of like customization, it is just its own layer. And like the because there's like environment like items that you can put like backgrounds and foregrounds, and then there's like the actual clothes and that's just a layer. The pet picture is just a layer that you like put like backgrounds and foregrounds
right
like in front of and behind. And that's it. You can't put clothes on it.
So unconverted, you're saying that means that you're either switching from the old art style to the new art style, right?
Yes.
So unconverted, that's what I'm saying when I say like Schrodinger's pet, does that mean like, could you like not convert it and have it remain the old art style?
Yes.
Does that make it more valuable that way?
Does it ever?
So, okay,
that is
so this
the
is the
only
black
value.
Right, so this is the black market value.
The black market value is in the fact that it is the old artwork and you can't get that anymore. And so the pets have like okay, so around that same time, the TNT, the Neopets team, like the admin.
TNT.
Yeah, that's like the colloquial
It's like
name for
the
them.
Neopet time company?
The Neopets team. It's the staff.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they were also like, yes, you can trade pets. So because prior to that, like we weren't sure, like the community wasn't sure if they could trade. Like it was like, oh, we probably can't. But this was like in an editorial for their like weekly like newspaper that they put out, which is again a whole other like little cutesy niche of Neopets.
Do they still put it out?
Yeah, every Friday.
They still put out a newsletter every Friday.
Every Friday?
Every
For
Friday.
their dwindling...
Oh my God.
For their dwindling fan base. And it's still every 50th issue, if you are in that issue with like a proper like piece of like literature or whatever, you can get a special avatar. So those issues, I mean, they have people like putting in entries for it like weeks in advance because they want the avatar.
So not only is there still an existing Neopet black market, there's still an existing Neopet white market. Like there's still like a regular market. There's still like a reason to spend actual human dollars. On the game.
Oh my God! Yes, people spend so much money on Neopets for the clothes. Today, people spend thousands of dollars a year on Neopets. I'm not exaggerating.
Jesus Christ! I guess
it is all in the money. Neopets is greed for money to like by selling clothes for like actual
right.
This is like microtransaction bullshit. This is like again like one of the original microtransactions.
This is what I'm gonna say. That's what I was gonna lead into. Is that this is like again coming into this with no prejudices even against Neopets. Now I kind of fucking hate Neopets because it pregat this entire advent of microtransactions, particularly aimed at children.
For sure. I mean, 2007. This is like the original like microtransaction to fuck with children and their parents.
Oh my God! Because there was another thing on that particular note that came up in the research, right? This is basically all from one Wikipedia page. But there is some small bit of scandal with Neopets in Australia, as there always is in Australia, because Australia just hates video games. I don't know why.
Do they?
Dude, it's
they have
insane.
a long history of hating fun.
Yeah, like they don't want you to play them.
Fun.
They don't want you to play them at the same time as your American counterpart. They just don't want you to have access. That's the conversation for another day.
A video game is about double the price in Australia as it is in America.
Also that, and it
that's
releases usually like
bullshit.
6 months after the fact. It's
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit. If you're a games journalist in Australia, you can't work. But anyway, that's why Yahtzee is so angry. But anyway, there's this scandal with Neopets in Australia where I think some of it was artificially inflated, but they had this tie-in with McDonald's because Neopets was also one of the first instances of incorporated marketing.
Yes.
Native advertising.
Yes.
we call it
Well,
nowadays.
they didn't call it native advertising then. They called it immersive marketing or immersive
Yeah.
advertising.
Oh,
They even copyrighted it. Whoever the person that made it was,
Yeah.
they copyrighted immersive marketing.
Yeah.
peak. That's good
Right,
stuff.
right. Peak.
I recall very well all the little plushies that I could get from my McDonald's Happy Meals, and then later Burger King.
Really?
Yeah,
So
they did a stint with Burger King too.
see, I didn't even know about any of this. I must have just not eaten fast food for a while. Unlikely.
Well,
But-
it was like a regular like cycle of like the children's toy. You know how that
Right.
changes like every 3 months or so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But so that's the other thing. So there was this case in Australia where this Australian family said, or this kid who played Neopets said that Neopets enforced this structure of gambling in order to feed your pets, otherwise it would be impounded. And apparently the rules of the game say that even an unfed pet doesn't get impounded, so that much was not true.
Yeah.
But he was still saying that in order for him to like really make any money or make enough to like buy the Neopet food, he had to like play gambling games. He had to gamble.
I see where he. Okay, yeah, I see where he could feel those things.
Right. So it was probably blown out of proportion, but yeah. So do you have anything that speaks to that? Did you gamble in the Neopets? Was there a Neopets casino sponsored by McDonald's?
Or could you more specifically talk about the Neopets, the Neopoints economy?
Oh yeah, Neo Points and Neo Cash. That was part of it too. So you could like spend real dollars on it.
Yes, you spend real dollars on Neo Cash, which you use in the Neo Mall to purchase the clothes for your pets. And like there are also Neo Point clothing items, but they're like they come out very infrequently and they're rarely as good. Like they're never as good.
Okay.
Like more recently we've gotten like some nicer ones, but like if you want your pet to look nice, like you have to spend real money and go to the Neo Mall and just like
And the Neo Mall.
you gotta go to the Neo Mall and like purchase your gift box mystery capsules and your.
Is it a loot box?
It's actually okay. Some of them are loot boxes, but it's like so. If you want to move like your Neo Cash items from like account to account, you have to send it in a box, and you have to purchase the boxes for more Neo Cash.
What? So you have to
Yes.
buy a digital safety deposit box to send that money
No, it's a
from
gift
yourself.
It's not even. It's
Well,
a
I mean,
traveling
like
box.
in
but
the
yeah.
real world, it'd be like a safety deposit box, right?
Yeah.
Because you're putting money in it. So, but you would have to buy the box to then gift yourself on a different account the money you already paid money to buy.
That's right.
That is bonkers.
It is ridiculous. Although I will say, it is pretty easy to get like multiple boxes. That's where these mystery capsules come in. When you open it, you get like a random number of boxes
random.
and then an item.
Fuck random, man. This is another precursor
Yeah.
to shit that I hate today. This loot box economy in games, like games that are ostensibly free to play, but it's
my
like, hey,
God.
if you throw some money in, you might get some cool stuff like skins, right?
Yeah.
Neopets is probably another game that was like an early precursor for skins, what we see in like Overwatch and League of Legends and Dota and
I can see
Counter Strike. Well, I mean, because you said like you could like the transparent.
Although
What's it called? The
colors-
chachi, the chia, Kachik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the colors that you change your pets into, that is strictly like Neopoint only. You do not pay real money. Well, you do pay real money for it, but on the black market, not through Neopets.
Really?
Yes, you can purchase like items to paint your pets or to get like rare avatars, which comes back to the Neopets thing. Not Neopets, McDonald's thing. So the reason why McDonald's and Burger King had this like crazy culture was because when you like win and you got like your food there, you got this like a certain like code.
Right.
And those codes, you could like redeem items, and some of them were exclusive, and those items were used to get like very rare popular avatars. Like there's this one item, it's the MSPPTCG, or maybe it's 1P, but it's the malevolent sentient Poogle TCG.
God.
It's like a little TCG card for their own like trading card game, which is a physical thing
Wait,
that I
what?
have cards for.
There's
yes.
a trading card game?
There's a physical Neopets trading card game.
So wait, let alone the fact that you're spending all this money on the digital stuff.
There's also all the merchandise.
So I knew that there was plushies, but I didn't know there was a trading card
They're
game.
stationary.
What?
They're
Like
stationary.
index cards and like post-its and
like notebooks and folders. I had a folder.
Is this a
with,
Neopets notebook? That'd be great.
No, it's not. I had an Illusen folder though that I kept for a very long time. I was
I'm sorry,
wondering.
Illicent?
Illusen, Illusen. She's my favorite.
Illusen,
She's
that's-
an Earth fairy who lives in Meridel. She's very pretty.
Oh my god, that is so dangerously close to Illidan. For anyone who's ever played Warcraft, nobody nerds in the audience.
This is the one that looks like a person.
Yeah, all the fairies look like people with wings.
I've seen this fairy before.
Yeah, you've seen this
I've
bit
seen
before.
it on Winx, I believe. Or one of those other children's fairy shows that happened when I
which-
was a child.
Yeah,
Oh no, do you remember Winx? Have you ever seen Winx?
I have seen wings.
So I feel like they were stylized this way.
Yeah, it's definitely a very similar like archetype of like fairy.
Oh, that's so. Oh my god, I didn't. What was the trading card game like? Did you know the people who played the trading card game? Because that's like an entirely because you can interact with Neopet people online, and that's one thing to make friends. But then the trading card game has to happen in real life, right? So you would have to know real people.
I think I only ever played with my mom.
Okay, how was
I
that?
don't think.
Was she with it? Was she like down, or was she just like kind of like humoring you?
I think she was humoring me with like the trading card game because I was just like, oh, let's play because it's like a Pokemon trading card game. Like you have like a mat and like where your different cards go and like you like
There's like a system of rules.
It was a
stuff
whole ass trading card game.
Damn.
It was a whole ass game.
See, because like another thing that is like I know that there are certain games that have had like generational appeal. Like I know that like Animal Crossing is a game that like mothers played with their kids and stuff. And
My mom also plays Animal Crossing.
right, because it's one of those games. Like it's like a low bar for entry. It's cute. Like there's a lot that is
I
like
love those sandbox games.
but a sandbox that focuses on like really tangible stuff, like grow a farm and like pay off your mortgage.
Yo, I love Harvest Moon. Don't knock Harvest Moon. I played so many hours of Harvest Moon. It's not even funny.
I'm with you. I'm there with you. I'm not knocking it. I've never played these kinds of games myself. They're not really my bag, but there are generational games. So I know that like my parents are like old Irish people. They would never know what a video game was if it hit them in the face. But like I've definitely heard that some people played Neopets with their their mothers, aunts, what have you.
Oh yeah. My mom plays more than I do.
At Neopets?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even now?
Oh yeah.
Did she then?
Yeah, I got my mom into Neopets in like 2002 because I was, like stupid in 7 and I was like, Mom, come like do this for me. I'm too stupid.
Right.
And she got tired of playing solitaire for me. So she got her own account to play solitaire.
Oh my god.
And it just like it grew and she still plays like she logs on every single day. There's a lab ray where you can if you find like the 9 different pieces of like a treasure map, then you get access to this like mad scientist guy who will like zap your pet every day and like something.
But that sounds terrible.
It's fine.
It's humane. He'll humanely zap your
It's
pet.
fine. I mean, the pets are like, what if I turn into a frog? But it's fine.
So it's you just torture your pet, but it's like it's for your own good.
Yeah,
That
it's
does
fine.
sound like Pokemon.
Yeah, and like most of what happens to your pet is like stat changes.
Right.
But it like randomly you can get like color changes or you can get like species changes, and there are certain colors that you can only get through a zap from the lab ray.
Really?
So she loves She loves
gambling.
She loves zapping her pets. She has 5 accounts so that she could zap a pet each day on each account.
Oh my god, I love that. Like I wish that I could get like my parents or
precious.
somebody like that into stuff like that.
My mom's like relationship with Neopets is the most wholesome Neopets relationship out there. Like
So-
she just enjoys it.
So have
She's
you
just in it for the fun.
Have you talked to her at all about like this black market that's behind it? Have you ever
Oh, yeah,
like
we
Mom,
talk about
like
it.
what's this like fucked up shit?
Yeah, we talk about it.
Have you ever purchased anything from the black market?
I haven't because she is very against it, but also like the things that I do have and that I've gotten like legitimately on Neopets, like if I were to lose them, for one thing it would be so expensive to replace them, but like
Right.
I'd be so heartbroken. Like they're my pets. I don't want to lose them.
Right.
So like I've really thought about it, and like every now and then I'm like, ugh, it's just like it'll be like $20 and I'll be done with it tomorrow.
Right.
But like no, I'm probably not gonna do it.
Would you ever consider like selling an account on the black market?
Yeah, I guess I would, but the thing with the accounts is like an actual like account. Well, the accounts that I would be willing to sell wouldn't be worth much.
Okay.
They would be worth like $1 or $2 tops. Like the actual
Really?
like account itself, like it's just like a shell with like nothing special on it, no like rare avatars, no games, no pets.
Right.
Is like $1 if you're lucky. Like they're
Right.
those are the cheapy cheaps. Like that's
Of
nothing.
course, like those are just like to save someone else a bit of time.
Yeah, that's just like, I mean, that's just like your vessel for like what you do. Like you just,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you're, say, you know, just for sake of argument, if you were to sell your main account, what would that look like?
Oh, my main account. So I have one pet on my main account that I could probably sell on the black market for around $200.
Jesus. That is a remarkable amount of money for what is effectively a picture on the internet.
It is a plushie Poogle. Google plushie Poogle.
Yeah, let's see what a plushie Poogle is.
Plushy Poogle.
Unconverted plushie Poogle.
Unconverted plushie Poogle.
It has a 6-letter name too, which is like very short and like very rare and special on a pet. And this is
Well, you don't get to name them yourself?
no.
Oh.
Well, I mean you do, but like each individual name, like once it's taken. Like there's only one pet in all of Neopets named May.
All right, are these? Is
Oh,
this,
like
is
what,
this
like
the
it's locked
unconverted
in as that name
plushy
forever,
Poogle?
Yeah.
uniquely?
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I like
it's good and bad. That is my baby. Both of them. The one with the red
Wait,
eyes.
you have the evil one too?
Yeah, I have both of them. They're my babies. I love them. They're two individual
I like
pets.
that. I was gonna say that I thought that the evil one had like the other paw was a different color, but it's not.
Oh, yeah. It's like in the happy one, like the front paw is a different color, and in the evil one, it's like a
The
back paw.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so it is different. Okay.
Yeah.
So, is this like part of this, like the skin changes, or is like there a story element to these pets?
No, that's pretty much like it's more like skin changes. They're just the different colors.
Is there any story to Neopets at all? Is there any overarching, like who are you that you own these pets? Like, do you as like the player embody a character as the owner?
As the player, you do not embody a character. In other pet sites, you do. Like in Subeta, which is another pet site, you do have
Subeta.
Subeta.
How many of these are there?
Oh my god! Like conservatively, I would say over the years, probably like 40 to 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Probably more that I'm just like I'm not aware of.
that is so.
There's so many like small ones that, like try to start up.
I have-
and then there's other ones that have like taken off. Like Subeta has also gotten like pretty big.
I have prided myself as a gamer and a knower of things for many years, and there are obviously such massive gaps in my knowledge. Like pet websites have never been. I guess like I like Tamagotchis again, and Pokemon and Digimon were always things I fucked with. But like this is just such a massive gap in my learning and my game education.
I think if you want like a pet site to like try and delve into it, I would say start with Flight Rising. It's dragons.
Dragons.
Yeah, and is
it mobile? Because I would have to play it like on the train or something. I have no time.
You could play it mobile. It's not optimized for mobile, but like you could do it.
Okay.
I'm not sure how their battle system, the Coliseum, I'm not sure how well that does on mobile because I've never tried.
See, I had
Oh, yeah, that's its Flight Rising. This is
had
actually an especially good pet site. Like Flight Rising.
It's mostly browser, like we said, right?
Yeah, pet sites are predominantly like browser.
I would,
What's
yeah,
that?
like Flash games and the like.
Oh, they have a Valentine's event. I should log into my Flight Rising account and check that out.
See, that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
I have accounts on like most of the bigger pet sites. Like if you've heard of it, I probably have an account there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like that. I wish that I could name some off. Like I've heard of them, but I haven't heard of any.
This is a really
Leo.
pretty
Have you
looking
heard of any
dragon.
pet sites?
Not at all.
Can we get some shout outs from the crowd?
I had a Webkins and a Neopets and a Club Penguin.
We've covered all of those already. You useless bastard.
No, Neopets only at one point, yeah.
So yeah, it's like Webkins, Neopets. These are effectively new terms in my lexicon today.
But speaking of the
But my little sister did play Club Penguin for a time. I played a little bit of Habbo Hotel back in the day, but also that was something I really never saw like the complete appeal to. So there was so much upkeep, and I was like, I could just do this in my regular life.
It seemed entirely too like confusing. Like I tried to play Habbo Hotel, and do you get your own hotel? I don't know.
You get like a hotel room, I think is the idea.
I couldn't even find it to get it. Like I
Right.
couldn't even find my room. Like,
See, I just like
so
the idea.
I was over my head.
See, like I was just such like a nerdy kid that like making friends was pretty difficult when I was young. So I was like, maybe like I'll have more success in like these online communities.
Yeah.
And like chat rooms were like never really my bag either. Like they felt too fast and personal.
Yeah. Oh my God, you would have loved like a virtual pet site. Their forum base is like perfect for like slower interactions, and you can really like cultivate like your persona based on like how you like style stylize like your font when you talk and like your signature underneath you, your avatar.
Right.
Like there's so much that you can like really like, cultivate to like, create like a uniquely you persona. I think you'd really like it.
See, the thing is, like,
I think you'd be super into it.
well, when I was 8 and 11, yeah. Now, not so much. Now I'm jaded and cynical.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like,
I
I will
think
say,
you would have enjoyed it.
No, absolutely. I kind of now regret that I missed out on the phase. I had a friend in college. Hopefully, you're watching, Holly. I had a friend in college who was super into Neopets, and probably like the extent of my conversation about Neopets was like hearing about her obsession with Neopets when she was a youth.
Oh my god, yo! If you're out there, Holly, find me on the PC. That'll be funny.
Yo, for real, right? Oh my god, what was I gonna say?
Send the bat signal. Well, I'll check for you tonight.
Yeah, honestly, like, I did post that we were talking about this night, and she was like the first one who liked it. So I'm not sure if she tuned in or not, but she's definitely aware that we're talking about this. So we'll see. That'll be the weirdest. I haven't talked to her in like years, but that's gonna be the point of contact. Like, hey, Neopets.
Yeah, man. Let's trade. What you got? I have a decently named tier 5 and a very well named tier 4.
There's tiers.
Oh yeah, there's tiers to the unconverted pets. That's as we get for the trading. Like once we learned we could have trading, like a very somewhat organically, but it was very like user run, like a tier system developed, or for like these pets suck. And they're only worth $20 on the black market. And
still $20 for what's effectively a selection of JPEGs.
I know, yeah. That's why I just can't spend money on it. Because like it's a selection of pixels. Like
yeah,
this is an amalgam of pixels. Like just take the picture and put it somewhere else. Like who's to say it's not yours?
Right.
Print it out. Put it on your wall. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I think it's crazy the amount of money that people spend on like pictures.
I definitely understand
that are exclusively online. I understand art.
Oh, Miranda,
there's prints
art hater.
There's prints and then there's like adoptables on DeviantArt that you're spending $2,000 on. Come on,
what?
No.
What's an adoptable?
Okay, obviously I just need to internet more deeply because that's also adoptable.
This is another like niche that like has like a Venn diagram with pet sites. It's very like.
Do you just have like someone draw you some OC pet? Is that
No. This is more in like the bigger like because virtual pet sites kind of fill the niche of like people who like character creation and like type-based like role playing, not like weird shit, but where like no offense to LARPers, but like that's a whole different kind of role playing.
It's not like weird shit. I would argue that this whole fucking thing is weird shit.
That's fair.
Right? Like, but you mean like nothing like.
I mean, this is like story building between people, where you create a character and the other person creates a character, and then you like work together on like situations. This is like
it's role playing.
Yeah,
it's not live action role playing, and not like sexual role playing.
I mean, it could be, but like it doesn't have
for
to.
the weirdos, right?
Yeah, this is like role playing on like a virtual pet site is closer to Dungeons and Dragons, honestly.
Really?
They have a surprising amount of overlap.
So would you say that there's like a significant level of that complexity in the construction of the characters? Like, does each Neopet feel fulfillingly different than another one?
I mean, it can. It all depends on like how much you like put into it. Like it could either be like a picture that you make look pretty, or like there's each pet has like a pet page, which is a space where you can basically like do whatever you want. It is just a blank web page, and you can make it look however you want with like coding and stuff. Like anything I know about HTML and CSS is because I wanted to make my Neopets pet pages look pretty.
So that
we had found something about that.
Yeah, in our research, it wasn't all negative shit that we found out. We saw that Neopets was actually commended pretty largely for its educational material. A lot of kids were able to learn HTML from customize their. You say my pet page, or was that?
Yeah, I would say that Neopets cultivated like a very like good amount of people who are like into coding.
Right.
Because of Neopets, whether they were hacking accounts or like making pretty pet pages, like either way, they were still coding because of Neopets.
Right, and particularly young women, because like they said in our research, like it also said that overwhelmingly the majority of players for Neopets historically have always been young women, like women between the ages of like 9 and 15.
Yeah, that's definitely like, I mean, like nowadays I would say they're probably like 18 to 30.
Well, yeah. Like, so kids who were that age then and have grown up with the platform.
Yeah, exactly. Those same people are still there.
That's why. So Holly very well might be actually still having an account.
Yeah, she might.
I have no idea. But so that's like I like that too. Like I like that there's been like kind of like a generation that did grow up with this platform and saw the platform kind of expand with them.
Yeah.
But now it seems like it's definitely, and it's like, you know, this is now the fall of Rome. Like, there's not a lot left for it to grow into.
Rome is falling, like, Neopets is falling slowly. Like, it hurts. Like I really think, like, at some point it's gonna have to be like a Bandage ripoff, but like I think Neopets is gonna fall as slowly as it can.
So
they're gonna milk every last penny they can out of people before they go down.
Well, of course, like, you know, the nature of capitalism, right?
Yeah.
But so, like, in thinking about that, like, you sound like you're aware of that happening. Is there at any point, do you think you will cash in on these bigger accounts, or are you just gonna like let them go to the digital graveyard?
I think I'm just gonna let them go to the digital graveyard. I mean, I didn't spend money on them, so it's not like I'm losing out on it. I mean, I've purchased my fair share of like Neocash.
Right, but you could also say like the time investment.
Yeah, like there's still a time investment. I mean, I haven't spent like thousands of dollars. I would say over the course of the full 17 years, I would say $100 is like the high amount of what I have put into Neopets.
See, that's enviable because I've played League of Legends for probably about how many seasons have there been?
5.
That's a lie.
No, 5 since like season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've
8 or 9.
Right, so I've played probably like 5 or 6 seasons of League of Legends, and in that time, I've probably spent close to like $1,000. Probably, maybe not quite. I'm ballparking it, but more than $400 certainly.
Okay,
if it makes you feel any better, I spent money on rune pages.
Rune pages.
Oh, well, they refunded you that.
What is that?
Yeah, that was refunded.
Yeah, so they had this.
I also spent money on rune pages. This is part of League of Legends.
Yeah, it's this page.
This is the pet simulator for nerdy adult men.
Yeah, it's like small incremental like stat changes that you can have set to like different like pages, so you can like pick them out for your different like play styles. And they basically, if you bought them with the in-game money, basically cost like a new champion's price, which was like 6,300 RP, but for cash they were like $6 each.
No, 6,300 IP is the in-game money. It's 975 RP.
Yeah,
I haven't played the game in months, and I can so fucking say that I hate this game.
Gotta get it good on those conversions, man.
Listen, this is the only game that like Tommy rudimentary man. Yo, for real. And that's why when I was saying to Leo when we were doing the research, because we are both unfortunately League of Legends players. Not lately though, we've been good.
Yeah.
But in League of Legends, there's like a Neo points and a Neo cash system, effectively. Yeah. So it's like you get the in-game money, which can get you in-game stuff, and which is nice about that game is that all the cosmetic stuff can be free.
That's good. It really sucks when they go to pay to play.
But you'll have to play for like thousands of hours to really get it. You know, like to really get all the stuff you want, like especially the high class stuff. But you know, it is possible, so you have to give it that. And you can't play to win.
Yeah.
You can't pay to win. Sorry.
Yeah. That is another like very like. That is another hallmark of like a virtual pet, like in the formula there's always like an in-game currency and then like a premium currency that is like you spend real money on. Like any pet site that you come across will have that.
So like how did you make your Neo points? Like what were the games you played?
I mostly make my Neo points in dailies that are surprisingly lucrative and in... So what I do now for Neopoints, because I didn't have Neopoints as a kid. My mom made Neopoints, and then she bought me things.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't that good at making Neopoints. I mean, I was okay, but like I didn't make them like properly.
You
but
weren't bringing home the bacon?
What? I was not bringing home the bacon. But now how I make my Neopoints is for the Battle Dome, because I'm a premium member, which I actually probably have to spend a little bit more on Neopets, because I have like a premium account, so I have like a membership.
That you pay like monthly for?
Yeah. It's not too bad. It's like I would say like around the cost of like Netflix. It's like a similar cost.
Really?
Yeah, and like for what you can get from Neopets, like as a player, it's honestly like it's worth it if you have the right play style, which I pretty much do. Right.
Well, you would log in every day or every other day at this stage, or how often are you playing now?
Lately, I log in like every day. It's kind of.
Is there a phone app now?
I'm glad you asked. They are working on a phone app. They recently released it in Australia and Singapore. It is coming soon.
Australia? Have they learned their lesson?
Apparently not. But it came out in Singapore first, and it's like more recently out in Australia. It is called Letters and Legends, and from what I understand, it is Scrabble meets Dungeons and Dragons.
That sounds like it actually sounds like League of Legends. I don't know. Letters and Legends sounds like League of Legends. Okay. But it's probably gonna be like Neopets Letters and Legends, right? Like
I honestly,
big name, little name.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like Neopets like Letters and Legends.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing. I didn't know there were Neopets video games. But there's... Well, of
Yes,
course, Neopets
The
is a video
Darkest
game.
Fairy. I have it for the PlayStation 2. Never
Right.
finished it, though.
Right. Well, so, like, that was another thing. Like, we watched, like, a couple of trailers, I think, for these Neopets games, and it was all like, what is happening?
It's surprisingly good. From, like, as far as I got, it's, like, not bad.
What is it, like an adventure game? Is it like an RPG?
It's
do you use
kind
your
of
own
similar to a
pets?
Zelda game. No, you use like specific characters, but it's
Okay.
kind of similar to a Zelda game, honestly. You have like a very like high fantasy like world that you like go around in. The graphics are 3D and you like defeat bosses and like save the kingdom from the Darkest Fairy, who is like the main like evil villain. You do like some magic stuff.
Probably
you have, like
no
a
murder,
magic
though.
character, huh?
Probably no murder.
No.
Okay, you don't like
Probably
kill the Darkest Fairy.
No, I think you turn her to stone and then her statue goes to the bottom of like the underwater.
Oh, that is
world.
murder. Okay, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
You
but-
trap this person inside of something that they can't breathe, and you make sure they can't breathe at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, but it's child-friendly murder.
Yeah, it's Disney approved. You know, it's like Ursula. It's fine.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Or
Actually, Ursula was pretty gruesome because they really like stabbed her.
Yeah. Well,
So maybe a bit more like Morgana.
you know, they stabbed her. There's no blood. She was
Little
like a
Mermaid
giant.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Esmeralda probably had the violentest Disney death.
Esmeralda didn't die.
No. Sorry, not herself, but the bishop, the cardinal.
Yeah, yo.
He like fell into the
Okay,
fire.
Hunchback of Notre Dame is the most underrated Disney movie. It is very good.
Oh, absolutely.
It is
no
so
arguments
good.
here.
Like Hunchback of Notre Dame deserves clout.
Danny DeVito played a gargoyle in that movie.
Exactly.
Like you cannot get any better than that.
Like God Help My People.
right?
That
yeah.
song, God Help the Outcast, whatever that song was.
Yeah.
It was a good song.
Or Hellfire, like fire, Hellfire.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
That is a good movie.
Also, Esmeralda was like one of my early Disney crushes for sure.
She was very beautiful. You gotta love Victor Hugo stories.
Yeah, she was like beautiful. She was also like she just wasn't taking anybody's shit. Like she was independent. She was
Yeah.
artistic. She like had something to say.
Yeah.
Not that we're talking about Esmeralda. We're switch up. No.
Not to go off a Disney tangent, which I could
Yeah.
also talk a long time about.
I'm surprised that this was never acquired by Disney. Actually, I feel like this would be very much in their oeuvre.
You know what? I'm honestly surprised because Neopets has gone through a couple of hands. Like, it was first sold to Viacom, and then Viacom
Yeah.
sold to somebody else, who I can't remember right now. But they sold it, and it's been recently purchased by Jumpstart.
I saw that Jumpstart, who do like the Leapfrog games and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Jumpstart is honestly like the worst owner that Neopets has had yet. Like,
Really?
Like production value has gone down. Things are looking ugly
Really?
on Neopets now. I'm sorry, Jumpstart. No offense, Jumpstart, but you suck.
That's so wild because Jumpstart definitely had some of my favorite like early childhood education games. Like there was like Jumpstart like first, second grade, where they like taught you like the rudimentary
Yeah.
basics of like math and spelling and things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember like thoroughly enjoying those when I played them as a kid. The math ones always fucked me up. I never got very far in the math segments. But hearing that's kind of a bummer. But as far as I know, like Jumpstart probably like they probably just spread their product out over a lot of different industry and like don't really pay much attention to every
Yeah.
individual one.
Yeah, I don't think that they like actually like. I mean, there is like there are like little like bits of Jumpstart. Oh, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is who purchased Neopets from Viacom. That was the middleman.
Nickelodeon is Viacom.
You're right. Maybe there was only two. Maybe it only.
I think there was like
twice
some
then.
Chinese company there in the middle. So that Jumpstart then purchased them from, because like, there was something about that on
Maybe.
Wikipedia as well.
Yeah, that was like the years when I wasn't like really playing too much.
Right, and that's why I think it was pretty janky then from what Wikipedia had to tell us.
Yeah, there really wasn't much like happening there. It was
And so now
didn't
just
hold my attention.
in terms of thinking about like exactly what like the black market entails, where do you find the Neopet black market? Like where is that?
Just Google unconverted pet. And it will be like you could purchase one on like one of the first like Google search options. Like
So like if we wanted to like ostensibly just for the sake of the broadcast just purchase a rare
unconverted pets like for sale.
Chicha,
Like
whatever, Chachi,
they're-
Kachik?
Kachik?
That's it, yeah. I keep fucking that up.
It's alright. It's a
I feel like this would be such a good game to have made it to a mobile game, like a phone, like a smartphone game.
yeah. I think they're working on it, but they really I mean, it's pretty sad. Like Neopets used to be really like cutting edge. Like they like set the bar, but like now they're really like struggling to keep up.
It's such a bummer. Does Webkins have an app? I'm sure that some of these kids
Is
game
Webkins
has
even
this.
still like open?
Today's the first time I learned the term, so I could not answer.
I don't think Webkins is even. I think Webkins has shut down. If I recall correctly, Webkins has shut down within the past couple of years, actually.
That sucks.
Like pretty recently.
I feel like there's so many of these relics of
Yeah,
history.
there you go.
So here we got some unconverted Neopets on clearance.
Clearance.
Ooh. Okay, see, there you go right there. Unconverted account, the second one.
UCA, is that what that means?
Yeah, that is an account, like a very old account, probably from that list, from that hack. And it has 3 unconverted pets on it. Judging by the price, and it's only $55, it's probably 3 like not too great ones, but they're not going to tell you that.
So these are random
Whoa,
bags.
Fairy Wonky. Oh my god, it's only $75. That's cheap.
Really?
That's a good deal.
Yeah, we should scoop it up from Miranda.
And
Gift from the program.
Fairy Walkies are cute.
Oh, so these are like grab bags. They just like tell you that they have, it's an unclaimed account with X amount of things, and then they might tell you what one of them is. But
Yeah.
the rest of it, you're just like, I'm spending $70 on what might be, you know, like this good one and then like 2 trash ones.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Let's go.
So those right there, I mean, oh yeah, look, see, like you could, I mean, it's $10, which is still like more than you spend on
Oh, but so these
pixels.
are specific ones that you can buy outright.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably buy any of them like outright.
Right.
A site like this, I don't think I would purchase from though, just because like this is a little bit like too sus.
Right.
There are like forums.
This is like the
where,
first result of Google.
There's
yeah.
a second result.
Oh, okay. Really digging deep.
But there are like forums that you can like become a member on, and like you get to have like a certain like accountability with the person, because I mean like you're spending real money on something that somebody stole. Like
Right.
if you want to do it right, like you need to have like a certain like honor system.
Right.
So like
Honor among thieves.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. So there's like, you know, like feedback scores. You get a middleman to like help with
So
the
that's,
transaction.
All right, that's good then.
Yeah.
That's like the basic protections that you see when you have people exchanging drugs on the internet for Bitcoin as well.
That is exactly what it's like. Yeah,
that's-
it is
like-
the exact same setup. I'm not.
But
Yeah,
that's what's wild to me.
it's
is
a black
like,
market.
Right. But
It's
that's
a black market.
that's what truly blows my mind, is that like a black market. I can understand the black market for drugs. I can understand the black market for like kidneys. I get that.
Yeah, this is just
This
a,
is
a
just
cute cat.
pixels. Yeah.
It's just a cute cat.
Like, it is fucking preposterous. I'm kind of glad that it exists, because it really speaks to how we develop subculture as a cultural group, as human beings, like how we kind of all migrate to the lowest common denominator. But it's like, what is that? A UC
Unconverted
Darrigan Gellert for between $26 and $40.
Yeah, and the
I don't
range,
make that much in an hour.
the range in price is based on how good the name is. If the name is
Really?
like buttfarts underscore 0234XY,
Garbage.
then it's gonna be, you know, like the 26 one.
Right.
But if its name is like,
Eve,
oh well, if its name is Eve, I mean that's like
like a couple $1,000s.
not a couple thousand, but that would
Yeah.
easily be like a couple hundred.
Right.
Like I would, yeah.
That's insane.
That's a good ass pet. I would very much like an unconverted pet named Eve. Whew. Wow. I probably wouldn't even like go on the boards, because I'd be too worried about like people
Someone
trying to hack me.
you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's truly like people like feel uncomfortable when they have like really nice pets like going on certain boards, because like in the niche of like Neopets that like thinks are exclusively white market, but like honestly like at least 80% of the pets that are like currently in circulation in the trading scene
It's dark pets.
have probably been purchased at least once across like the past the past like 10 years.
Oh my god.
Like I mean I see pets like having like just like
So we think about dark money and like the U.S. government and stuff like that, but there's like dark pets and Neopets.
yeah, there's like pets that have like they've seen some strange things, those pets.
All right, that's what. So I just want to ask you like one or two of things. Like, we're approaching like the end of our hour here, so I would just say, like, in general summation of the now like what's
Oh, I think
16.
I too.
Oh, thank you.
That's good. Sorry.
of like the now like 16 or so years that you've spent playing on and off, would you say that you're ultimately like you're a fan? Like, do you come down positively on the side of Neopets over history?
Yeah, I like Neopets. It's a good time, and I think that Neopets was a very formulative like experience growing up. Like I think Neopets shaped my life in like surprisingly large ways, and that it got me into the virtual pet community, which is what like made me like meet like some of like my closest, like dearest, most long-term friends.
Right.
So yeah, like yeah.
Right. Okay.
I would say Neopets, it was a very formulative like part of my childhood.
Fantastic. And then that's like, I guess, final question. If you were given the reins over Neopets at any point, what would you have done differently? What would you have done to make it maybe more substantial today, or more lasting, or maybe less dark in parts? Like, what would you have done?
I can tell you what I think about it all the time. I would have made the unconverted art fully toggleable, and that you could switch back and forth at your leisure.
Right.
You could do it 4,000 times in a minute if you wanted to. Just click back and forth. That, I truly believe that would solve almost every single problem that Neopets is currently experiencing.
Because you remove that rarity, that artificial
exactly.
rarity.
You remove the artificial rarity, so you have no more black market. You have no more of the toxicity of like the pet trading scene, which like, I'll have to tell you about later. It's a whole nother thing. I've seen people get doxxed on Neopets.
Jesus.
Yes. Like I think I might have somebody's social security number.
What?
On Neopets.
All right, so before we go in incriminating ourselves, that's a neat point where we can tie this evening up at. Miranda,
I didn't save it, but I saw it.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate you talking to us about this.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. Love that soapbox.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you guys enjoyed the interview format, please let us know. We might do this more again. We actually went through some painstaking lengths to do this, so please, we hope you enjoyed it. But as always, thank you for joining us this Tuesday. I've been Vin.
I'm Leo behind the computers.
And this has been the latest edition of The Outsider Circle with Miranda.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, party people.